Today on Capechi's Corner, we're going to look at arithmetic sequences and series, and this is our second day. So as a reminder, we've been working with sequences, and that's a set of numbers. They're in a particular order or some sort of pattern. And today we're going to start working with series in which we're going to add these terms. Okay, so we're going to deal with a partial sum in which we're adding a certain number of terms, 7 terms added together, 10, whatever it is. And this is, we say S sub n. Okay, so we have we have a formula that we're going to use right there. Okay, S sub n is equal to n, and again, n is the number of terms times, and then in parentheses, we have the quantity of the first term plus the last term, and then we're going to divide that by 2. All right, so let's take a look at number 1. I have a couple things set up just to save us some time. So we want to find the sum. We start with 12, 19, 26. There's a bunch of numbers in there. We don't know how many, and our last term is 180. So what I did was I pulled out my first term is my a sub 1 is 12. My last term is 180. And I can tell that my d value is equal to 7. I'm adding 7 every time. All right, so when I'm trying to find the sum, this is what I have so far. So I need to find that n term. That's the one variable that I don't have in that formula. So I substitute, this is the formula we were using in the last few classes. So I have a sub n is my last term, and my first term is 12. And then I'm going to do a little bit of algebra to figure out what that my n value is. So I have 180 is equal to 12 plus 7m n minus 7. That gives me 180 is equal to 5 plus 7n. And then I have from here 175 is equal to 7n. So n is equal to 25. So now that I have that n value, I can substitute it back into my summation. So I have s sub 25, right? I know I need 25 values because we just found that here, is equal to 25 times 12 plus 180 gives me 196 divided by 2. Get my calculator. In this particular pattern, if I add the first 25 terms, I'm going to get 2,400. All right, let's take a look at another one. Now, in this case, I'm not asking for the summation, but I am going to use that formula. I'm asking for the first 3 terms. And again, you have to look at the information given. I'm given the first term, the last term, and I'm giving that sum. So I know I need to use that formula to help me. Okay, so again, I wrote the formula out, substituted it in what I have, and I realize that I need my n value. That's what I need. Okay, I can solve for n here. So over here, to figure out what my terms are, my first 3 terms, is I'm going to have to find out what d is, because I know I'm starting at 7, but I don't know how much I'm adding. Once I have that, I can find those first 3 terms. So if I go back to my sum formula, I have 430 is equal to 7 plus 79 divided by 2 is going to give me 43n. So 10 is equal to n. All right, so now I can go back to my next formula, and once I find my d value, I will be able to know what my first 3 terms are. So I'm going to start substituting in. I have 79 is equal to 7 is a sub 1 plus 10 minus 1, right? We just found my value for n. So I have 79 is equal to 7 plus 9d. 72 is equal to 9d. So my common difference there is going to be 8. So when I'm trying to find my first 3 values, right? My first one we already know is 7. Add 8 to that, and I get 15. Add another 8, and I get 23. Okay? All right, moving on. Same sort of thing. This time I'm given a little bit different information. So I do need my first 3 terms. So I need to find my first term, and then I need to find my difference. Okay, to go from there. So the information I'm given the number of terms, I'm given the last term, and I'm given my sum. So when I start with my sum formula, I realize the one thing I'm missing is that my first term, and I need that, right? To find the first 3 terms, I need to know where I'm going to start. So I substitute everything in, so I get 224. Now I can simplify this to make things a little bit easier to me. For me, this is going to be 1, and that's going to be 16. So I have 16 times a sub 1 minus 1376 So I end up with 1600 is equal to 16a sub 1. So a sub 1 is equal to 100. Okay, so I need that information. Now again, I'm going to go to my other equation that we've been using. Again, I've substituted in my values. What I have so far is I have my last term. I know the number of terms I'm dealing with. So let me substitute in that a sub 1 I know now is 100, plus this gives me 31d. Okay, so I'm almost there. I just need to figure out what the value is for d. So d is equal to -6. Okay, now my first term I found over here is 100, right? So it's 100, and then I have -6, so that's going to give me 94, and then my last term there is going to be 88. All right, let's move on. Now we're going to do sigma notation. This right here is a sigma. It's a Greek value, a Greek letter. And what we're going to do is we're going to find similar things that we've done with our other equations, but the notation is just going to be a little different. So for instance, my first value, right, that's my a sub n. That's going to be k is equal to 1. I'm starting there. My last value, where I'm stopping, is there. And then again, we need some sort of formula. Am I adding? Am I subtracting? Whatever it is. So let's kind of look at the example that they give us. And I think a lot of times that makes a little bit more sense. Here's my little expression that I'm going to deal with. My first term is going to be k is equal to 1, and my last term is going to be k is equal to 12. All right, so let's see how we do. So I have in number 4, we're going from 4 up to 18. And here's the expression we're going to use. So from 4 to 18, that's actually 15 terms. And how do we come up with the 15 terms? Well, I take the 18 minus the 4, and then I add 1. It's kind of like a little mini formula in there. Okay, 15 terms. So I know that n is equal to 15. Now, I need to figure out from here, what is my first value going to be? Like I'm going to start, I'm starting with 4. So I have a sub 1 is equal to, now I'm going to use my little expression there, right? So I'm going to have 6 times k is equal to 4 minus 1. So that gives me a sub 1 is equal to 23. Okay, so that's my first term. Okay, now what I also want to do is find my last term. So a sub n is equal to same thing, 6. My last term is 18 there, has a value of 18 for k, minus 1. So a sub n is equal to 107. Okay, so now I can go back and work on my summation formula. So s sub 15 is equal to, there's 15 terms. I'm going to add the first and the last and divide it by 2. So my answer is 975, which is really what sigma is. Sigma is an addition. Okay, so I have a sub 1, and this one is 4 times 1 plus 2. So a sub 1 has a value of 6. I'm going to go to my a sub n is equal to 4 times 12 plus 2. So a sub n is equal to 50. Okay, how many terms do I have? Right, 1 to 12, if you count them, that's 12. But again, if the numbers are not as easy, it's going to be 12 minus 1 plus 1. So we get 12. So my n value is 12. I'm going to use my summation formula. So the s sub 12, right, we know that there's 12 terms, is 12 times my first and my last. So I have 6 plus 50 divided by 2. And then my summation here is going to have a value of 336. Okay, thanks so much for stopping by. You have a great day.